Ladies and gentlemen, getting ready to start the press conference for PBC on Fox. It is great to be here in El Paso, Texas, Premier Boxing Champions. The second time we have come here to the Sun City. I'm Ray Flores, who will be handling today's press conference. You see outstanding world-class fighters to my right and to my left. We want to thank the city of El Paso, also UTEP, for being a wonderful host to Saturday night's PBC on Fox event. Tickets start as low as $25 here at the Don Haskins Center. Look, we have a loaded card for you from top to bottom. You do not want to miss it. Having been here over 2 years ago when we were here in July of 2015, there's nothing like watching a big fight here at the Don Haskins Center on the campus of UTEP. We also want to thank our sponsors, Corona Extra Lace. PBC on Fox is brought to you by TGB Promotions. Want to send a special thank you out to the president and the promoter from TGB Promotions, Tom Brown, who is not here, but he's done a wonderful job helping to promote this event along with other local promotions. But Tom Brown is a master matchmaker. He has been a part of the careers of so many world-class athletes and developed them from their pro debuts on to being world champions. Tom Brown is certainly one of the brightest minds in boxing. Also, his vice president, Brittany Grusin-Brown, who works very hard. There's so much that goes into putting on an event of this magnitude, and TGB Promotions does a wonderful job show out of putting on these world-class events. And we really want to thank Corona Extra La Cerveza Más Fina. They have been so instrumental, and they've been with PBC since the beginning when we started in March of 2015. So when you are here at the Don Haskins Center enjoying PBC on Fox, make sure if you're 21 years and older to enjoy a few Coronas, as it will certainly elevate your experience. Also, from a local standpoint, we want to thank Casa Nissan. They have been unbelievable. We had an autograph session there with Victor Ortiz and Austin Trout. The fans came out. We want to thank those gentlemen at Casa Nissan. Also want to thank the Wolves Den Gym that have been the host to the local workout on Tuesday, and also the workout yesterday for the fighters, the Wolves Den Gym here in El Paso. They have been wonderful to work with, and we appreciate them being our home this week. Saturday night, we have a loaded card. I mean, there have been some wonderful events that have taken place here in El Paso, but Saturday night here with PBC on Fox, this is the most stacked card from top to bottom. Doors open up at 3, first bout inside the ring at 3:15. We go live with PBC on Fox across the world at 6 o'clock local time, and tickets start as low as $25. What a deal. You have 4 former world champions that are on the card. This is unprecedented for El Paso, and we certainly hope that you guys embrace it and the fans come out, because tickets are going quickly, so make sure to get them now. In our main event of the evening, 2 former welterweight world champions go head-to-head. Vicious Victor Ortiz will collide against Devon Alexander the Great. The co-main event is an eliminator matchup featuring one of the fastest rising stars in the super middleweight division, Caleb Sweethands Plant. He takes on the durable, the rugged, the tough Rogelio Porky Medina. Also, the 2016 United States Olympian Carlos Balderas will open up the televised portion. He has a matchup on his plate, and certainly he's been eradicating his opponents. Expect much more of the same on Saturday. And talk about a local flavor. You have from nearby Las Cruces, Austin, no doubt Trout, who has a matchup against Juan de Angel. And then El Paso, your world champion, Jennifer Hahn. She goes ahead, and she has a very big matchup against Elizabeth Crespo. That'll be on the undercard of PBC on Fox. As I mentioned, tickets start as low as $25. Let's get to the business at hand. As we go ahead, we want to bring up Jennifer Hahn's opponent, ranked #1 in the world. She has a record of 11 wins, 3 of those coming by way of knockout against 3 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Elizabeth Crespo.
Bueno, hola, buenas tardes a todos los camarógrafos y bueno, gracias por la buena onda, las buenas vibras y por recibirme de esta forma. y estoy muy contenta de estar acá en la casa de la campeona. Es un orgullo pelear contra ella, ya que es la reina del Paso. Y bueno, vengo acá desde Argentina por Chubut, Puerto Madryn, para dar un espectáculo el 17 de febrero, o sea, este sábado.
She said, I am thrilled to be here. It's an honor to be fighting Jennifer Hahn. She's the queen of El Paso. It's wonderful to be fighting here in her backyard. I'm very excited. I certainly am very focused, determined. I've had a wonderful training camp, and I look forward to taking home the victory for Argentina. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Elizabeth Crespo. Muchas gracias, Elizabeth Crespo. We appreciate it. Oh, yeah, good.
Bueno, ya que están transmitiendo en vivo, quiero mandar saludos a mi Chubut, Puerto Madryn, a mi pareja Alberto Quinteros, que él fue el que me ayudó al sindicato del SOMU, y a Lucas Fiorini. Gracias a todos y al gimnasio de Mar del Plata de Fernando Sosa.
I also want to thank my family and everyone in my gym that's helped me in preparation for this matchup against Jennifer Hahn. Elizabeth Crespo, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Jennifer Hahn's opponent. Now, women's boxing has certainly come such a long way over the past few years. You see the likes of Clarissa Shields, you see the Serrano sisters, and here in El Paso, the buck starts and stops with Jennifer Hahn. She won the world title here at the Don Haskins Center a few years ago, and she's putting her IBF featherweight crown on the line on Saturday. The fans, they love Jennifer Hahn. She has a crowd-pleasing style. She's a wonderful person, but once that bell rings, she is all business. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome El Paso, your world champion, Jennifer Hahn.
Thank you, everybody. I wanted to thank El Paso for always being there, supporting me, and cheering me on. You know, I can't do what I do without you guys. I like to thank my sponsors, Western Tech, Casa Nissan, Longcar Associates, because, you know, training and working hard, it's expensive, so it's great to have help. Also, I'd like to thank my team, Louis Burke, Coach Ben Rodriguez, everybody that's helped me in preparation for this fight, my family. They've been my sparring partners. I'm truly blessed. We work hard together, we train together, and we win together. And I'm so glad for this opportunity. I thank Elizabeth Crespo for coming down to El Paso. I've had a lot of trouble in the past with girls not making their visa interviews and having the fights delayed, and it's been very frustrating, but she came on time. She's on weight. We're ready to go, and we're going to put on a great show for El Paso. I'm going to continue to make you proud, so come enjoy great nights of fights. We have such a talented card with all these world-class fighters, so don't miss this event. If we turn up, we're going to have bigger and better things come to El Paso. Thank you, everybody, for your support. I love you.
Jennifer Hahn, ladies and gentlemen, El Paso's world champion. Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the local media for coming out and covering the event. We appreciate the local media, the television stations, the radio stations, the websites. Thank you guys very much for covering PBC on Fox. Don't forget, we get rolling at 3 o'clock. That's when the doors open up here at the Don Haskins Center. First bout inside the ring at 3:15. It is a stack card from top to bottom. As we go ahead and look at some of the names that are on this card, aside from Jennifer Hahn, you have Thomas Top Dog Williams, you have Mark Hernandez and Jason Rosario. That's going to be a tremendous matchup. Tony Superbad Harrison against Jorge Sosa. All those matchups encompass what is going to be a tremendous night of action. PBC on Fox this Saturday here in El Paso. Also want to thank local sponsors, AMS Law Group, Dr. Worldwide, and Membella Contractors. Let's get to our co-feature of the evening. This one is going to be a special matchup at 168 pounds, as it is an eliminator fight for the IBF, current IBF super middleweight champion of the world, Caleb Truax. But these two gentlemen have been on a collision course, and they have contrasting styles. Rogelio Porky Medina coming off a loss at the hands of David Benavidez, but he has certainly fought anybody and everybody at 168 pounds. He fought Badu Jack, he fought J. Leon Love, He went ahead and fought Jose Luis Uzcategui. When he gets the call, he says when and where. You have to love that attitude. He has a 70% knockout percentage. He comes forward, he throws punches, and as they like to say in Spanish, tiene una pegada. He's got a punch. We want to welcome up to the dais. Please welcome Rogelio Porky Medina.
Buenas tardes. Primeramente, muchas gracias a la empresa que me dio la oportunidad de participar en esta cartelera. Felicitar a pues, los demás peleadores que van a participar aquí. Y nada, pues muy agradecido por esta oportunidad. Y igual que todas mis peleas, no pienso dejar nada a deber. Yo pienso dar todo y demostrar que quiero ser y que voy a ser campeón del mundo.
I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank those that gave me this wonderful opportunity to be a part of this magnitude. Is certainly an honor, and as is the case with all of my fights, I'm going to bring my best. I'm going to come forward. I want to leave nothing in the hands of the judges. I'm going to bring my all, and I want to continue to gain W's in my quest of ultimately becoming a world champion. Rogelio Porky Medina. Let's talk about his adversary that he will be across the ring from. This man has a record of 16-0 with 11 knockouts. I have watched this young man grow and develop over the past few years. He's been on television so many times, and the fans have certainly gravitated towards his style inside the ring and outside the ring, as you see with his suit here today. I recollect, I'm going to go back, and I always tell him this, 2 years ago in June of 2016, we were in Florida, and you see a lot of things when you're in the sport of boxing, but there are moments you're like, my gosh, that was special. That was unbelievable. He knocked out Carlos Galvan, who was a very tough Colombian power puncher, with an uppercut to the body, debilitating shot, and he set it up so beautifully. He's got wonderful boxing ability. He's a defensive wizard, but that body shot is one of my all-time favorite knockouts. He knows how to put it on people. Also, he's from Tennessee. He loves where he's from. He's from nearby Nashville. The guy embodies that, living in Las Vegas, but he never forgets where he comes from. He has a wonderful camp, his father, his trainer, everyone involved. They're so focused on the task at hand, and that is for him to become a world champion. It's not going to be easy on Saturday night, but he's in the best shape of his life. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the undefeated Caleb Sweet Hands Plant.
Appreciate everybody coming out today. Without you guys, the fans and the media, it'd make this job a lot harder. You guys are, what makes this type of world spin. So appreciate you guys. I want to thank God. I want to thank Brad, Luis, all the guys, Sam, everyone behind the scenes who makes all this stuff possible. And, I'm just going to get right into it. This has been the best camp of my life. I know every fighter, every camp says, oh, this was the best camp of my life. This has truly been the best camp of my life, from, training to strength and conditioning, sparring, mentally, spiritually. I got a great team. I want to thank my head trainer, Justin Gamber, my assistant coach, my father, Richie Plant, my woman, Jordan Hardy. If you guys keep up with PBC at all, watch PBC at all, y'all know Jordan Hardy. And yeah, Saturday night it's going to be fireworks. This is a tough fight. And one thing I think that makes this fight so exciting is beforehand people wonder, oh, what's he coming to do? What's he coming to do? But there's no secrets when I fight Porky Medina. Everyone knows what he's coming to do, and everyone knows what I'm coming to do. He's coming to break me down and try and get me up out of there, and I'm coming to box. And at this point, it's just a battle of wills. Who has the will to win? And I think the A side has a bad stigma for people who've had the easy route, the easy way. Life made, no trials and tribulations. But if you know me, you know that's not the case. When I came home from the hospital, I slept in a dresser drawer. I didn't have no baby crib. At 20 years old, I had a daughter who had 150 to 175 seizures every day. Brain damage, no motor skills. She couldn't sit up, couldn't hold her head up, couldn't move her feet, couldn't move her arms, couldn't eat. I fed her through a tube in her stomach every 3 hours for 19 months with a special formula I made every couple of days. 8 medicines twice a day that I gave her. 8 doctor's appointments a week downtown that I took her to. When these people were sleeping in their comfortable beds at home, I was in the hospital. Still got my hand raised every time. I did that. So before you look at me in this fancy suit and say, oh, this is another A-side who's had it easy, you better think again, because I'm not playing. I'll die in there Saturday night. So I hope you're ready to die, because I'll die in there Saturday night. I'm not playing around. This ain't no joke to me. This is all I got, boxing. This is all I've ever had. When I was a kid with no heat, hovered around the space heater in the living room, boxing was all I had. When the lights was off, boxing was all I had. When there wasn't no food, boxing was all I had. Saturday night, I'm getting my hand raised. And I'm going to be one step closer to a world title. Thank you.
Caleb Sweet Hands Plant, ladies and gentlemen, very focused, determined, truly a very unique and inspirational story. He has an opportunity to get closer to his lifelong dream of becoming a world champion in this eliminator fight. It is the co-main event of PBC on Fox, Caleb Plant against Rogelio Porky Medina. Also, before we get into our main event and meet the trainers of the two combatants, I want to take a special time to thank the orchestrator of Premier Boxing Champions, Al Heyman, who is without a doubt the brightest mind in boxing. He has been influential in helping to change hundreds upon thousands of lives. A very special thank you to Al Heyman, who works tirelessly and harder than anybody in any business. So Al Heyman, who is the orchestrator of Premier Boxing Champions, a big thanks and a round of applause for Al Heyman, who works very hard and who was instrumental in helping to bring this event here to El Paso. Now let's get into the main event of the evening. Two former welterweight world champions on a collision course. This is a very unique matchup because the welterweight division is loaded. It has always been loaded, but especially now. You have the likes of Keith Thurman. You have Texas's own Errol Spence Jr. You have Danny Garcia, who has a matchup against Brandon Rios. You have Lamont Peterson out there. You have Sean Porter. And now you have these two gentlemen that were at the top of the mountain trying to get back there. When it comes to a fight of this magnitude, it makes for a more fun fight because they have to gamble. They not only have to win, but they have to look impressively. So how do you do that? You have to gamble a little bit. When you gamble, you leave yourself susceptible to get countered and to be more vulnerable. But that vulnerability is what makes fights so compelling. And also when it comes to a world-class fighter, you need a quality camp. And there are two amazing trainers that are a part of these two gentlemen's camp, the first of which is from St. Louis, Missouri. He was a former St. Louis police officer and has been in the corner of Devon Alexander since he was 7 years old. He gave back to the community in St. Louis to help take the youth off the streets and bring them into boxing. He was in the corner of Corey Spinks, David Diaz, and has been with Devon Alexander since the beginning. They went from 0-0 to being two-division world champions. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, a man who certainly loves the sport of boxing and is a good guy in the sport, Kevin Cunningham.
Thanks, Ray. I want to thank the city of El Paso for having us, the University of Texas, El Paso, for hosting this event. I'm going to be brief because it's not about the trainers, it's about these guys. But we had a tremendous training camp. Everybody knows about Devon's story, coming back and getting back to prominence. And I just want to let you know, he's ready. We had a tremendous training camp. He's prepared to be a mean, lean fighting machine on Saturday night. And come Saturday night, we've been knowing Victor for a long time, so it ain't no secrets. We know he can fight. We know he coming to fight. His trainer trained him well. But come Saturday night, Victor's got to get dealt with, and he will get dealt with. Thank you.
Kevin Cunningham, ladies and gentlemen, and aside from the trainers, want to go ahead and acknowledge the cut man, Levi, the cut man for Devon Alexander, cut man Carlos in the corner of Victor Ortiz. Let's bring up the trainer for Victor Ortiz, Joseph Janik, known as Coach Haas, as he's so eloquently deemed by Victor Ortiz. He was originally a standout amateur and then tried to become a professional fighter, but things just didn't go well from a business standpoint. So he focused his attention on strength and conditioning. Then he learned the art of training. And now him and Victor Ortiz, they've been together for quite some time, and Joseph Janik has been the lead trainer for Victor Ortiz for his past few fights. You got to love honest people in boxing, and everyone up here is very honest, but this man is extremely honest and is so diligent when it comes to knowing his fighters. And like Kevin Cunningham, he has a deep love for boxing, and he has an even deeper love for Victor Ortiz. Please welcome Joseph Janik, known as Coach Haas.
How's everybody doing today? Kevin and I agree on one thing. We're going to keep this short and sweet. Nobody's here to hear us talk. These guys are going to fight on Saturday night. We also had a really good camp. I don't think people have seen the best of Victor Ortiz. I know that sounds a little bit cliche, but I think we've been working on a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that he knows how to do that he hasn't been able to bring out in fights yet. And we're working on getting that into the ring, and hopefully you guys see some of that on Saturday night. One thing we do disagree on is the outcome. We will win Saturday night. We will win convincingly. We will walk out of the ring with our hands held in victory, period. Thank you.
Joseph Janik, ladies and gentlemen, known as Coach Haas. Now let's bring up, ladies and gentlemen, a man from St. Louis, Missouri. He is 31 years of age. His lovely family is here. We want to welcome them to El Paso. And when he knew that his family was here, he's smiling from ear to ear. But I don't think he's going to be smiling too much. He's always focused on business once that bell rings, because he's been there at the highest level. Both Victor Ortiz and Devon Alexander turned pro when they were teenagers. They reached the highest success when they were in their early 20s. They handled the pressure, the lights, the financial burden that was on their shoulders, but they did it with class. And they've dealt with the highest of highs, and they've fallen off from those highest of highs, but they're back and ready to go. This man had an extensive amateur career, over 300 victories, wins over the likes of Marcos Maidana, who is no small task, Randall Bailey, who had a whale of a punch and was a difficult opponent for anybody, Andre Kotelnik, a two-division world champion. He became a world champion at 22 years of age. He had a battle with substance abuse when it came to painkillers, but he went into rehab, got himself clean, and on his comeback fight after 2 years away from being away from the ring, he said, "I want Walter Castillo." And the name should ring a bell, because Walter Castillo is no small task whatsoever. And on his comeback fight, he could have taken, as they like to say, a tomato can, a cupcake. But he said, "I want Walter Castillo. Put him in front of me." And he put on a clinic in Florida back in November. And now he has a big fight against vicious Victor Ortiz. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Devon Alexander the Great.
Hello, you guys. First of all, I want to thank God, first and foremost, for another tremendous training camp, for another opportunity to show you guys why I'm one of the best at welterweight. I want to thank my team, Kevin Cunningham, one of the best coaches in the world. Thank Al Heyman, Levi, Team Alexander. I want to thank my wife back there, my kids. Love them to death. I'm a family man. I'm happy that they came out to see me. That's all I needed. That's the icing on the cake, is my family. So, forced to fight. You know, you guys don't want to hear me say what I'm going to do. All you want to do is see me beat this guy. That's all I'm going to do. That's all I'm prepared to do. That's all I want to do. That's all I've been dreaming about doing. So anything else doesn't mean anything. You know, you guys don't want to see me sit here and say, "Oh, I'm finna do this, I'm finna do that." No, you guys want to see me get down. You guys want to see me win and get back to the top. So that's what I plan on doing. So get ready. Thank you.
Devon Alexander, the great, ladies and gentlemen, as you gotta love the energy, the excitement when it comes to Devon Alexander. Now this gentleman also is a family man as well. He has a 1-year-old son, Victor Royal Ortiz, and I think he has as much energy as his father. And they both, Victor Ortiz, he was on Dancing with the Stars. He was a heck of a world champion, originally from Garden City, Kansas, coming off a 4th-round stoppage over Saul Corral back in July. Made his pro debut at 17 years of age. He's been in blockbuster movies like The Expendables. He fought Floyd Mayweather. He was in some tremendous battles against Andre Berto, Marcos Maidana. Terrific boxing skill, but without a doubt, if there was an adjective to describe Victor Ortiz, I would have to say that he's a warrior. He puts it on the line, fight in, fight out, and he brings his best every single time like everybody does. But Victor Ortiz is the epitome of a warrior. He says he's focused, ready to go, and please welcome, El Paso has certainly embraced him. Please welcome Vicious Victor Ortiz.
How's everybody doing today? I know it's another press conference. You know, I'm pretty sure it's one of the least things for a fighter. You know, so close to a weigh-in. We're ready to go once again. Coach Haas couldn't have said any better. I'm here for what's mine. That's a victory. Hell of a fighter. I know it'll be a nice war, and I just want to say thank you to all the fans here in El Paso, and a toda la gente que viene a visitar. Muchas gracias, muy agradecido y apoyar. Vengo por la victoria, para ser un gran campeón de nuevo, que voy a demostrar este sábado. So, anyways, that's all I've got for today, but the new, you guys take care.
Victor Ortiz, the former world champion. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget the doors open up at 3 o'clock. First bout inside the ring at 3:15. We go live with PBC on Fox at 6 o'clock local time. A stellar triple header with our main event, Victor Ortiz and Devon Alexander, Caleb Plant, Rogelio Porky Medina, Carlos Balderas in action as well. Jennifer Hahn, El Paso's very own. She is in undercard action defending her world championship against Elizabeth Crespo. Austin, no doubt, Trout in action. Also, Tony Harrison, Thomas Top Dog Williams in separate bouts as well. This is the most stacked card to ever come to El Paso. Right now, we are going to square off the fighters, and they are going to have a stare-down photos, so make sure to get your cameras out and make sure to take photos. Our main event of the evening, as Victor Ortiz, Devon Alexander, PBC on Fox, Premier Boxing Champions, brought to you by TGB Promotions and sponsored by Corona Extra La Cerveza Más Fina here at the Don Haskins Center on the campus of UTEP. We will see you tomorrow for the weigh-in, and then on Saturday for the fight. It is going to be a tremendous night of action here in El Paso. The fighters will square off, and then we proceed with our press conference and then see Sam from Swanson Communications for one-on-one individual interviews. Thank you.